Should we do this? We're going to do this. Good morning. I am Jeff Blankenburg, and here we are on my channel. And it's time to do some things. Good morning, Lord of Sound. Thank you for showing up here this morning. It's always good to see you and have a conversation. I have spent the last, 3 weeks or so on my stream, almost exclusively. Oxygen0211, hello. I have spent the last 3 weeks or so. Back Shan is here. My goodness, it's a good day. Good morning, Shannon. I've spent the last 3 weeks or so building a Alexa skill that is meant for Alexa developers, and it's called Dev Tips. And I have been working diligently, but only on stream. So I've only spent the development time on stream. There's been really very little development done that wasn't here on stream. And good morning, Trade Last. Man, we got a good crew this morning already. This is great. And I submitted it for publication. We went through a bunch of stuff on Wednesday. I've lost all track of time. Today's Friday, everybody. Happy Friday. It is Juneteenth also, so if there's ever a day to pay more attention to what's going on with the Black Lives Matter movement and everything else, today is the day for sure. But I think it's always an important thing to be aware of and paying attention of, and I think that the last few weeks have certainly given me a lot more to think about and participate in. So make sure you're taking some action today. Today would be the day to do it. Anyway, so I built this skill and I pushed it on Wednesday, and I thought it would be a pretty easy push. I would either get a quick fail or a pretty quick certification, and I've gotten neither. We're about 2 days in. When I pushed the button, it actually told me that I will have my certification results no later than July 1st. Man, that's a long time to wait. I was really thinking like, I don't stream for another 2 days. This will be easy. We'll get back in. We can talk about how it went live, what went live, or that it broke, and then we have some things to fix. And in both cases, I was not able to do that today. So then I got up this morning and I was like, what am I going to build? Like, the people need something, right? And it reminded me that in parallel, not only am I building a Alexa skill, but I had also built a chatbot, right? And so let me just get right into this. So if we look at it's the best way to show this is probably this. So if I come into my browser here and I say, Alexa, who is Amit, for example, the chatbot will respond and say, you can find Amit here. Here's his Twitter, here's his LinkedIn, here's his GitHub. All of that stuff is there and ready to go. In fact, I want to tweak that up a little bit so we can play with our content while we go. But my goal is to have that's probably true, Gold Zulu. I use a lot of features, and I have a feeling that based on all the permissions and things that I'm asking for, they're going to give me a close look over. So anyway, so this is the data. Why is my data table over limits? That shouldn't be over limits. Let's go look. What are we at? I'm at 1,234 records in my data table now. I know why that is. We can fix that here pretty quickly. But my sound effects one is way over. You can see that I have 3,000 sound effects, and they only give you 1,200 for free. So that one's definitely a problem. But I think we can fix the data table and get that back under. The real problem we have is that in testing, look at this. They've added 400 new users to my database. This is crazy. This is all automated. But they went through and they did a bunch of stuff, right? All their automated tests used my intents. And so we're going to get rid of all of them, because if they come back, it won't break anything. Except one, which is me. Maybe. There we go. And so, I'm pretty sure that one's me. And so I'm going to delete all the selected ones. That gets rid of 421 records right there. But then also, if I go to user achievement, we can get rid of all these too. There's 385 records in here. This is going to scale quickly with users. Now, I don't expect to get 400 users in one day, though that would absolutely be amazing. Hoping all of you will give this skill a try once it's live, but that should solve my problem for space. Now, if I come to over limits, you can see that this says data is 428 records. That's more about what I kind of expected. All right. So the thing that I wanted to look at was my emit answer. And one of the things that I'm doing in here, if we find emit Jawani, is that I have these different values, right? So I have this Airtable database, and I have voice response, I have card response, I have screen response, and then I have chat response. And this is the response that only gets sent out when there's a chat message. And so you can see, if I look at this message, these are the things that I said, but I already have his Twitter, so I'm going to delete that one. And then I want to make the rest of it look the same. So I'm going to say LinkedIn, like so. And then down here we have GitHub. I'm just curious to see if I just make that little change, if that makes a big difference to how my chatbot responds. So now if I say, Alexa, who is Amit? You can find Amit at LinkedIn, GitHub, and Twitter. And those pop pretty well. You would not be correct, Lord of Sound. He puts the first initial of his first name at the end of his last name. So his last name is actually Mutoni. And if we look at my database, I'm pretty sure that I have that right. Andrea Mutoni. So his last name is Mutoni, actually, and the A from his first name is just at the end to make Mutonia. And that's his username on a lot of things. So no, his last name is Mutoni, but that's a good catch. I love that you guys try to catch my mistakes, because I make plenty of them. I have a track record of it, and I don't doubt for a minute that I've made many more. So no dumb recommendations, no dumb suggestions. I appreciate it, Lord of Sound. Thank you, Lord of Sound. I get a yellow light now. That is part of the other chatbot. That's the Jeff Blankenburg one, but that's not the one we're going to work on today. That's the thing that I want to focus on is adding some more functionality and refactoring the chatbot that we have for Alexa. My goal with this is to make this thing universal, so that when you are, it's a much better shirt match, thank you. When you are interacting with any of us that are on the Alexa team, you should be able to use this Alexa chatbot, and that means it needs to be universal. So it's not going to have things like the lamp. And actually, I wanted to talk to you guys about this too. Make a huge mess here in my office. I bought some of these. I think I showed these on another stream. This is the LifeX Beam. You can see like they make those cool colored shapes on the walls. And my initial idea, I haven't installed these yet. I'm very hesitant. My initial idea was to have something like this. These are obviously light beams, and I could have it like travel up the side of this thing here, and then like travel upward, so it just kind of cuts like this Z right through the scene we have here. But they're so bright, they're so vibrant, that they wash out the camera, and I end up looking like I'm standing in the dark. And so that was my initial idea. Yeah, you can put them together any way you want. They're actually magnetic, so they just clip together like that. They come with 3M strips installed. This is what they look like, and then they can be set to any individual color, or they have a whole bunch of what they call themes, and I can set them so that it'll arrange it like the picture showed, like this. Whoa. Like this one here. Whoa, here. You see how there's like purple and green and yellow? So it'll assign themes, and like I think there's like 10 or 15 actual LEDs in each strip. And it can change the colors of each of them. They're individually addressable, and it can change them all to whatever it wants it to be. So very, very cool. I have a set of 12 of them, but I think the decision that I've made is that I'm actually going to mount them like this, underneath the shelves. And I think it'll make the shelves glow, but it won't overtake the camera. I don't know. I could also do it like flat against the wall like this. I'm going to have to play with it, though. I'm not ready to do my full installation just yet. Maybe this weekend, maybe Monday, I don't know. But they're very, very cool. They're called the LifeX Beam. Yeah, I wish we could go to the movies. Actually, Trade Last. So I'm, for better or for worse, I'm heavily involved with AMC Theaters, They are the facility that we use to host a conference that I run or help run. And we were very worried when we heard all the news about AMC potentially going bankrupt and whatever, because that would obviously adversely affect our conference and how that's all going to work. But I just got an email from them yesterday, and it sounds like things are actually fine, and that it was more rumor mill that they were struggling or going to go bankrupt, and so they're actually going to be okay. But it sounds like movie theaters are actually going to be opening here in the next few weeks, like maybe early July, mid-July. So that's kind of exciting. Okay, back to chatbot. I want to do some coding today. So we have this chatbot, and I'm going to walk you through it a little bit because there's a lot going on here. But the real keys for me are that we are building a chatbot that only does things that could happen on my channel or the Amazon Alexa channel or Greg Bolmash's channel or Joe Moyo's channel or Jeff Nunn's channel. Like, all of us should be able to run this chatbot. And it should be able to run all at the same time even, so that if Jeff and I are broadcasting at the same time, it's running on both of them and it can respond to people on either one. So that's kind of the thing that I want to build. So that reduces the scope of what this feature set can be from anything to like things that could happen on any of our channels. It really is going to limit it to things that the chatbot can respond with. Because I do have chatbot commands, obviously, for this lamp, but this lamp only exists on my stream. It doesn't exist on Jeff Nunn's stream, for example. So that's the purpose of this specific chatbot. And then, of course, I have my own, the Jeff Blankenbot, which you can see is the one that responds for things like lamps and other stuff like that. So that will be the scope of what we're working on. But what I want to do is really pare this down. I've learned a lot about Node and getting things working and functioning in a way that I like. Since I first built this, and so I thought I would just kind of revisit this. Actually, that's a really good question. You can see it running TradeLast. It's running here locally. So I actually have the chat. I spin the chatbot up only when I'm on stream, so it's not running all the time. But I do also have a tiny EC2 instance running that I could deploy this to so that it does run all the time. But I actually feel like if I build this properly and I allow my colleagues to just go to GitHub, clone it, and run it, we would probably be more efficient, I guess. Because then otherwise everybody needs access to the EC2 instance. What if it crashes? What if it goes down? How do people restart it? Like, there's a whole host of issues that we run into if we just have it sitting someplace. So for the last month, 2 months, both of my chatbots are running here locally on my machine. You can see I have no email. Let's get the email off the screen, maybe. You can see here that I have the Jeff Blankenbot just running right here. No, I'm not using ngrok or anything like that. This chatbot is completely independent of anything. It's running only locally on my machine. There's no endpoint to hit. The way that it works is I'm using this node library called TMI, and what TMI does is opens socket basically to Twitch. Can't you have what channels it's on and only run it from one place? Yeah, that's totally right. So W Giorgio, I can have this running here, but it's actually running on the Alexa channel also. So if you went over to the Alexa channel and you asked it an Alexa question right now, it would also work because I can just tell it what channels I want it to run on. So so that's how this is structured. TMI.js is the thing. It's a simple WebSocket connection over IRC, and then I'm doing some things once I get in here. We'll talk about that stuff. But the first thing that I do is I record all of the chat messages. So good warning for all of you. All of the messages that we've put in chat, I can actually show you. Now I don't keep them forever. I usually purge this about once a week, and I'll have a different table for this. But if I go to chat here, you can see that I have, for the last, 2 weeks or so, I have every chat message that's been posted on my channel. And not even my channel. You can see this is Jeff Blankenburg, but as we scroll on, you can see that I'm also monitoring the Amazon Alexa channel. So it's saving all of these things. My hope was, and again, I'm not persisting this for any kind of nefarious purpose, But what I am doing is I'm using this so that like I make sure I don't miss anything in office hours, like questions that I go back and review this stuff later. I make sure that it's a good way to see like how much chat interaction did we have. I did an interview yesterday with someone on my team. His name is Aaron Wilson. If you guys watched on the Alexa channel yesterday, did anybody tune in for that Aaron Wilson interview? He's basically the manager in charge of the Alexa Skills Kit, which is super cool. He's on the product team, and it was great to have a conversation with him. And afterward, he said, "Hey, I'd love to see all the questions that people asked." And I thought, man, how am I going to give him that? I guess I could just point him to the video because you can like see the chat as the video happens. But then he's got to sit there for an hour and watch the whole thing and see the questions as they come in. And I remembered like, oh my gosh, I have this chatbot running. So I just came into this data table and I was able to just pull all of them out, dump them into an Excel file, and email that over to him so he could go through and look at the questions because he'll use that as feedback. There were a lot of fantastic questions during that interview yesterday. And if you guys didn't get a chance to watch it, I'd recommend going back and giving it a look because it was a good, honest, open conversation about what's going on with the Alexa Skills Kit and what's he working on and what he thinks about. And I thought it was good. And I'm really glad that I got an opportunity to have him on the show. What's happening right here? Do I have like a beam of sunlight? I think I have a beam of sunlight coming through somewhere. I don't know where, but definitely something. Okay. Anyway, I wonder if it's like a reflection? It's not my water bottle. Where is it even coming from? I have no idea how I'm getting hit with sunlight. I have like these big dividers. It's got to be right here, right? I can't make it go away. That like my worry is I'm always worried there's like a sniper, right? Like get it right in the middle of my forehead or something. Wait, honestly, I have no. Is it coming from over here? I wonder if I have a reflection coming off of these. I don't know. Anyway, I'm not going to worry about it. The sun will move and we'll be fine. I think it's above me. No. I don't know. Okay. So anyway, so it's recording this stuff, and that's what this stuff does here. So I think the goal of mine is on message handler here, I'm going to have a function that I call that saves the data, right? Saves the message. And then as we move down further here, what we're doing is we're saying if the command starts with Alexa, that's kind of the requirement for getting this to work, then we're going to send some content to Lex. And so this is where we pass off our data to an actual chatbot service, right? This is Amazon Lex, which lives at AWS, and I'm passing in the message. Now, what this gives me is the NLU and the... look at that. That would have been awesome if it worked. I actually wonder how I would handle that question. That's a tricky one. But so I'm passing this off to Lex, and I post that message, and that's where, once I get it back, once I post this data into Lex, then I get it back, and this is, I have a bunch of console log things in here, but basically I can get the resolved values from the question that you asked, the same way that we get anything else. So if I look in here at the message that you just sent, actually, let's see, we have Alexa, who is Alexa. This is all the data that I receive about your message. This is about you and about all your status on Twitch, everything, like, are you a VIP, all that other stuff. Then down here we have our data message content, and this is, if I look at this, this is the thing that comes back from Lex. So this is where it gives me my neutral sentiment score. All of that kind of stuff is pretty cool. Then I have data updated because I go in and I manipulate some things, I think. No, all I do is parse it. 72% neutral, right. And so then I grab the specific item, which is Alexa for Business, and then I call out to my database and I get that thing, and then I reply back to the user with whatever I said. So I don't know if I actually write that part down here, but that's more or less what I'm doing. Is I'm resolving the values, and then I'm just grabbing the username of the user that said it and whatever my chat response would be, which is the thing that comes from my database. And if you said something that has multiple matches, then I do disambiguation, which is one we've used many, many times in this example, which is Alexa, who is Jeff? Right, and that's my disambiguation case. So I don't know which Jeff you mean because you match 3 of the different values in the thing. So that's kind of the purpose of this right now. No, I don't have that as a synonym for him. That's why. But if I say, Alexa, who is Justin? He's in there. And so I can also say Jeffers, but Jeff itself doesn't match because it's not close enough, even though he has 2 F's in his name. TradeLast asks, what does Airtable do when you exceed the free limit? OpenTable is a restaurant reservation service, but that's okay. I know you meant Airtable. So Airtable does more or less nothing so far, but they have the right at any point to turn my my data access off, right? They could kill the API. I just don't know. I haven't figured out when they're going to do that, but I also don't have a lot of production traffic pointing at it. So they may be more tolerant when they can tell or detect that I'm in some kind of development mode. But if I started getting hundreds of API hits an hour or something like that, I think that they would very quickly turn it off and say, you need to pay us if you're going to do this, because I should be paying them if I'm over limits. But I'm testing it a little bit. I want to see if they'll actually shut it down, because I'm ready to pay. Like this is a thing that's going to exist, and I want to make sure that I'm doing it on the up and up. But I'm also kind of curious on what the limits are. It's fun to test. So until it stops working, probably won't, but I should soon. Okay. So there are some things. I can't recommend Airtable enough, TradeLast. I wish there was a Amazon service that did what it does for me, but there's just so many things that make it so easy, and I have a hard time justifying going somewhere else. I mean, it's simple API calls in to get my data. It's just too easy. Okay, so let's move this down a little bit, and let's talk about how we can move some things out. So the first thing I'm going to do in my chatbot is I'm going to create a new folder, and we're going to do this a lot like we did the dev tip skill. We're going to create a table called Airtable, and in there we're going to create a file called index.js. And in there, I want to remember how I do this. I don't want that. What is that file? I don't even know what those files are. What are these files that are open? Commands? Don't need that. Don't need that. Don't need this. Don't need this. And we'll need that in a second. So let's open a recent one, which would be GitHub, Alexa. No, I don't even have that folder in there. Wow. Okay, so we'll go get it the raw way, which is we're going to go to GitHub and we're going to find dev tips, lambda, index. And that's not even the one I wanted. Why? Why do I do these things? Okay, open. Let's go again. GitHub, dev tips. I want like the Airtable one, which looks like this. That's what I was looking for. Okay. So we'll take this as an example just so that I don't have to do all the typing. And this is going to come down to almost nothing because I don't have any functions yet. So that's great. And then this up here, we'll get rid of all these but one. And this is going to be save chat message. Save chat message, and then I obviously need to create that file. And then in here I will create another file called save chat message.js. And in here we're just going to have a async function save chat message, and this is going to take, let's see, what do we pass into this? when we call this thing, all we use really is I have context.username, so I have the context, and I also have the message, and I have the channel. Hey everybody, I have to do a weird thing. I'm going to give you some cool music and the loading screen for just a second. I actually have a very important phone call and I have to answer it right now. 1 second. All right, sorry everybody. That reminds me that I wanted to tell you about this. And the thing that I wanted to tell you about is in my Twitter, this thing. Let's just grab a link to this because this is a interview thing that I'm doing today. And I'll drop it in the chat for you. Maybe. There you go. That's at 1:30 Eastern today. It's an interview with me, but we're going to be talking all about conversation design and things like that. And I'm going to give a very abbreviated version of my 10 things every voice app should do talk. Trade last, that's a really good question. There are not enough Blanken points because they're already gone. I used one obviously for myself. For you guys that don't know, there's this new service called hey.com, and it's a new pivot on email. So I used one of the invite. I get an invite code. I applied like in early February for it, and I got it yesterday. And I used one for myself, obviously, and then I gave my wife an invite so that she could try it. And then with the last one, Amit Jatwani, my colleague, had been talking to me. He goes, dude, let me know if you get one, and if I get one, we'll trade, whatever. And so I gave him my third one that you can use the code 3 times. And so it is all gone. But that also means that when Amit gets his invite, whenever that is, he'll have 3 to give away. So you guys might want to hit him up whenever that happens. He applied about 2 weeks after I did, though. He was more like late February. And so I don't know how long it'll take him to get his invite, but I was on the gun. Like I sent my little essay in probably the day they announced it. Good luck, Trade Last. Anyway, so I'm doing that interview today at 1:30, and that was the person that's interviewing me, calling just to check in. I left her a message this morning with some questions that I needed answered, and so I wanted to make sure I had a chance to talk with her. So I'm glad that that just happened. 33.6K. Boy, W. Georgia, I gotta come up with something. Maybe like 100K will do something cool. Also, Lord of Sound asked about something earlier that I didn't acknowledge at the time. But this is here, and you should see him standing next to the Mandalorian up there on the shelf. But I have one more. And what we're going to do, Lord of Sound and everybody else, is we're actually going to give this one away. So this will go in some kind of, it'll be randomized. So there's not like a, I don't think there's a good way to like ensure yourself a win, because that doesn't feel as fair. But I think we'll do some kind of random giveaway when we get to 500 followers. And I think we're really close if we didn't already eclipse. I haven't actually looked at how many followers we have. So that's one of the cool things we can do here. Is I have 394. We're so close to 400. So we're making our way. We will soon enough be at 500. It'll come quick. But you do have the points to buy my favor, W. Georgia. That's a very, very good point. Hopefully the lawnmower doesn't get too loud as the fine friends outside are mowing my lawn for me. All right, let's get back into the code though. So I have my save chat message. We were starting to build this, and I need to send in, I don't remember now, the context and the message and the target. Context, message, target. I don't need self because we'll have already eliminated that opportunity. So context, message, and self. So let's go here and we'll say context, message, and no, not self. Context, message, and target. Okay. So that is the function that I'm creating, and then I need a module.exports equals save chat message, like so. Okay, now that we've done that, what we need to do is move that functionality into here. So one of the other things that I want to do is take this Airtable stuff, all of this. I wonder if we could just take all the Lex. No, we don't want to take all the Lex stuff. This is just focus on the mission at hand here, Jeff, which is I don't want all of this here, so we'll just copy it for now. Save chat message. We're going to take this and dump it right here, like so. Now there's a few things that we'll have to fix on this. The first one is I have an API key, but I want this to be an environment variable, and we want to save it in a different table. So let's go look at our tables first, because we want this to be in the dev tips environment, the workspace they call it. So let's call this thing Twitch. I don't know that it will be, and we'll even make it purple. Make it for Twitch. I wish there was I could get the Twitch logo guy. You can't choose any, you can't create your own icons. I think that would be so cool. So let's see if there's anything that even resembles the Twitch guy. I don't think there is. So we'll do, I think there's one, there's like multiple people in the same icon. Thought there was. Oh, there it is. We'll use that, and that'll be like the conversation stuff. Okay, so this is now the Twitch thing, and then in here we're going to have chat log. Go away. This will just be record ID. That's fine. Formula equals record ID. We'll say save on that. So the thing I should check is I already have a table that holds all this information. I should make sure that I'm using a very similar schema so I don't have to do a lot of work later. So let's look at the Jeff Blankenburg chat Twitch thing. So I have record ID, and then I have channel, username, and message. So let's do channel. This can be single line text. And then we had username and message. So this is username, and this will be single line text. It would be nice to be able to like log users and see all their chat messages and junk like that. That seems like too much work though, for what I really am using this for. So we'll save that, and then we have message. So this will be long text, just so it's easier to read in the interface. And then we had the context and a created on. Okay, that's pretty easy. So we'll do a context. This should probably also be long text. And then this is just a created date. And we don't even need to send anything in for that. We can just say created time and say friendly and same time zone for everyone, save. Okay, so that is what we've got. I can delete these 3 records because I don't need those. Although I probably will need them. Let's just do this. API.airtable.com. So now what we're going to do is make sure that we have the appropriate table ID. They call it the base ID, I think. So we have our chat log table. And if I do JavaScript and I do retrieve a record, what I want is this base ID. This is all I really care about right now. So we'll take that and we'll go back to our code, and that's going to go right here, like so. So that's our new, no, that's, yeah, that is the base. Okay. And then this is going to be chat log. Okay, context.username, this needs to be message.trim, channel target, and then the other thing that I'm really missing here is the reference to Airtable, and we have that here in bot, which is this thing here. And so we're going to take this, I'm just going to copy it. I don't know that I need it yet, but I'm going to get it into here so that I can use it here. And then now we have the moment of truth. So one of the cool things about all of this, and you guys should note, every time I make a change, I'm doing local debugging here. Every time I make a change to my code, it's using a service called NodeMon to basically save my files, restart my bot, and go. And so this is super, super cool because it means every time I save, the bot is instantly updated. I don't have to go back in and restart it or anything like that. So let's take this chunk out. That is the side. This is a message that comes from, what is the, let me remember, package.json. There is a, it might be concurrently, I don't remember. There's a package that basically lets you know how big your packages are. And I can't remember which one it is. But basically there's a service that's running behind the scenes that says, hey, by the way, this thing is 54K, and it lets you know how big it is. It's not a comment. JavaScript doesn't parse it. It's not actually part of the file. I can't even highlight it. It is just putting it, it's an overlay that it's putting on top of. It's built into VS Code. But it's not there. It's not actually part of the text of the file. Okay, so save chat message. Bot.js has this. And now what I want to see is if you guys post some messages. Oh, I haven't. Okay, so I have to do here. I have to include my new. We'll call this Airtable equals require. And this is going to be Airtable. Like so. I know that's confusing, and I think I can get rid of the other one entirely. I definitely don't want to include it twice if I don't have to. So I don't think I have any other Airtable stuff in here. Get specific data by ID. I do have other Airtable stuff in here. All right, never mind. How about that? There we go. Okay. So we're getting an error though. That was the issue that I just anticipated. So W. Georgia just said yep. What are we breaking now? Alexa chatbot airtable index.js. Check for achievement. Oh, well, that's why I didn't do that. That will break things. Now we get it started. Somebody drop a message in the chat. There we go. I use VS Code these days, and then we should see. Boy, it would have been really cool if that just worked. It's not there. BB edit before that. Why? Oh, because now I'm not making the call. So now we need to go into bot and up here. Instead of all the work we were doing before, now we should just be able to say airtable dot save chat message. And we need, I gotta remember the order of these. Like that, and like this, and like that, and MSG. Like so. No, I hate that abbreviation. We're gonna do message, and then we're gonna do this. Okay. All right, so I need a chat message, which you guys have been good about delivering. Broke it. Keys is not defined. What are you talking about, keys is? Oh, because it's in here. Well, that's annoying. So I need keys in there too. Okay. I think this will eventually mean I don't need keys here. Which is fine. So that becomes that, but then this becomes ... / keys. And then let's fire a message in. Message is not defined. Where do I have MSG again? I must not get to do that. Oh no, I'm sorry. It's because I'm probably using it a bunch of other places. Let's just leave this. For the spirit of not breaking things, I just want the data stuff to work. Okay, let's try that again. HELLO. Boy, that looks pretty good. Did we get a database record? I got it twice, actually. Okay, so now we can delete these. Sweet. Logging is working. So we were able to do that. We were able to basically take the messages directly out of the chat and save them to the database. That's super cool. Now what we need to do is continue down the path. I guess I haven't been requiring many external NPM packages in my code, only local modules. That'll change soon. Yeah, super cool. Could you stand right outside my window, please? I can't criticize. They're doing something that I don't want to spend the time doing, so no complaints. Okay, so the next thing that I do, this is the Alexa stuff. And the way that this works is I take my command name, and if it starts with Alexa, this is really the key to building out like all of that functionality right there. All the rest of this is all sending it out to the chat and getting things back. I don't want that all here in my core functionality. And then I also have my onConnected handler. I'll probably need that. I have get specific data by ID. This is an Airtable call. But we'll move that out to someplace else. I have HTTP get. We're not using that anymore. We're going to use a module called fetch. We've changed lamp color. Goodness, we don't even use this anymore. Okay, this because this chatbot doesn't do this, so we can get rid of that. And then we'll have a helper file for get resolve values, get spoken disambiguation, build link text. Okay, so this doesn't do a whole lot yet, but my goal, maybe today, is to get it to provide you with the ability to hear a sound effect or a speech con. And I have some super secret ways I think I can do that. Let's talk about the super secret ways first and make sure I'm validating this for myself. So if I go to Alexa SSML speech con reference, what's really, really nice about this, and this is data that I'll have to add to my database, but hopefully I can infer the data. I don't know that that's actually going to work, but we'll try. So I have this SpeechCon reference guide, and down here we have this whole list of SpeechCons. So like if I say abracadabra, I can play this.
Abracadabra. Abracadabra.
Right, but if I right-click and choose Inspect, in here what we really get is a reference to this MP3. I don't think there's any way. Maybe there is. Is there a locale in here? There's no locale in this URL. I would be very interested to know what these URLs look like for other locales then. But so for a ENUS locale, we get a URL that looks like that. And if that's the case, I think I can probably infer that. Let's look at another one just to make sure. So let's take that URL, copy link address, and we'll just create a new file to hold on to that. And then let's go look at absolutely and see what the difference is. I think the only difference is going to be that the word absolutely changes. Yeah, that looks very similar. I'll copy that just so we can compare. Copy link address. Welcome to Hacking the Internet, everybody. This is what we're doing. So that's really useful. Okay, so then let's go look at another locale, because I want to be able to do this where you can say abracadabra, but in like a different locale, right? That list down here at the bottom somewhere. So we'll do like, I think all of the locales support abracadabra, so we'll just look at the German version of that. And they all have their own sound to it, right? There's a German accent on this abracadabra. You can see it's even spelled differently, but let's look at this. Inspect. Audio, German. Goodness. Copy link address. What happened here? I don't see English. I see a folder called German. What if I go back and look at, you can take me to the bottom of the page or the top of the page? Cool. Let's do, what does English UK look like? Because now we know what German looks like. I'll have to probably investigate this for each one of these, but we can start with English US. Inspect. Abracadabra, and this one looks like ENGB. Well, I'm glad we're being so consistent. Wow. I hate the guy that made this directory. So that makes this a little harder to predict what the URLs are going to be. Let me just copy that one too. Copy link address. This is German. This is ENGB. Like if it's the locale name, that's really easy. Let's go look at like Portuguese or something now. We just went in a huge rat hole, everybody. I just want you to know that. But this is one of the things that I really wanted to do, was to be able to. I really wanted to be able to play, like give you a link and you just click on it and you can hear the audio file. because I think we can just do that, right? If I scroll down, we'll find abracadabra. Inspect. Open. This one is PTBR. Why is German just German? It's so weird. So this is PTBR. This is what I was thinking I was going to see, and it's underscored, not dashed. But everything else looks the same. And if I just take, this is the thing that I really want to see. If I take this and I just drop it into a browser, can I do that? Will it play?
Abracadabra.
Yeah, abracadabra is right. Okay. So that mostly works. I'm definitely going to have to write a rule. I'm going to have to write a rule for German. And a rule for the US, honestly. Because that's also weird. This is... EN US. And if these all translated nice, I should go find one of the weird ones in the US English. Because there are some weird ones that have spaces or dashes. Let's find one that has multiple words. See how they do that. Well. Inspect. Well_well. So we're just replacing. We'll grab that too. That's a pattern we'll have to find. So they replace spaces with underscores. I would guess is there other punctuation? I feel like there's a couple of them that actually have like actual punctuation. Not seeing any yet. Read them and weep. Can you put that apostrophe in a URL? Let's see what they do. Inspect. They take the apostrophe away. Okay, that's a good thing to know. We're going to have to do a little parsing on these. But the good news is that if we look at these values, right, speech cons, read them and weep, whatever, if we look at these values and we look at my database, so if we come back here and we go to this and we look at speech cons, let's filter it by just ENUS. You can see I already have these values, and I already know the locale because I'm going to have to make you specify in the chat. So my guess is if you wanted to play one of these speech cons, that you would do something like... I want them all to start with Alexa. Alexa, play... no, I'll say Alexa say. Alexa say abracadabra. Yeah, like, am I going to make you do that? I could do it the other way where I flip it and just say, here's abracadabra in Portuguese, right? I just grab one of the locales for the thing that you typed. And then if you type in like a K, like abracadabra, that would give you, where'd my table go? Your dot is spinning around. It is? Maybe I just missed it. If you say abracadabra, I could just pick randomly from one of these. Maybe that's an option. Well, this gives me something to think about as we get into this. So the stuff that I want to do, let's really talk about that for a second. So we're going to do it right. Yes, I definitely get the right round music reference, W. Giorgio. Like a record baby. Let's talk about the things we want to do here. So in a perfect world, play a speech con when requested. But I'll have to figure out how to play locally a file that lives in the cloud, because I don't want to make anyone that wants to use this skill or this chatbot download all, like, one, I'd have to go capture all the audio files, which I don't want to do. And two, I don't want to make everybody else on my team have to download this huge install of all of these audio files. But that's how the sound effects thing that you can do with my chatbot works right now. Is all of the sound effects are locally on my machine, and then you can indicate which one you want, and I just play it from the local thing. I need to figure out how to play something from the cloud. So we're going to do from the cloud. We'll also have play a sound effect when requested from the cloud. And I don't mind if there's a little delay. I think that's okay. We want to give answers like the dev tips skill does. And it does that now. Kevin, let them know next time that, like, they need to prioritize, and this is clearly way more important than work meetings or crises. Work crisis. Tell us more about that. What kind of work crisis do you have? All right. What else do I need to do here? What are the other things that the skill does right now? I guess we could just look at it, but I'm trying to remember. We do answers, we do speech cons, we do sound effects, we do personal information. That's not something I can do from the chatbot because I don't have access to your Alexa context. Huh. I think those three would be pretty killer, though. That'd be a great starter set. All right. Well, let's keep changing this up. Let's keep working on the bot. So I have this if command name starts with Alexa. This is kind of my go-to beginner thing. So let's. I don't need that. Okay. So this goes up here. The first thing I'm going to do is get command name. Command name is going to be the thing that you said. So that's the message that you actually said. And then I log that thing. That's great. Okay. So then down here, we're going to say if command name to lowercase starts with Alexa. This is where all the magic happens. So I'm saving all chat messages here, but then I want to make sure that you started your message with Alexa. Once we've done that, I think the next thing that I want to do is, I have it right there. This command name, replace Alexa with nothing. I want to do this because I don't need the Alexa anymore. I just want the rest of your message. So we're going to do const command equals that. And that takes Alexa off the table. And that's not really going to work. So I need to replace Alexa, but I probably also need to replace Alexa without the thing, like so. And this replaces from the beginning of the file and only replaces the first... Well, would it do that? No. I could get myself in some trouble here. Let's be clearer about this. Let's get rid of this one. And we'll get rid of the comma. And then we'll just do a dot trim on this in case I've left any leading spaces. Why did it crash? What's happening? Function on connected handler. What? Oh, because I see. Okay. So let's just lose this for now because that breaks everything. And we'll just bump this down. So do I want to make everything go through the chatbot and then it could tell me what intent? Yeah, I think I'm going to do that. This doesn't have to be just for answers. I think that's all I'm doing with it now. I think. Yeah, so that, okay, that's where the cleverness is going to have to come. So we're going to move this up, and we have these parameters. This is calling out to our bot name, which is Alexa Chatbot, and we're passing in command. Passing in command, passing in your username, all of that is good. Then this stuff works, so I don't want to get rid of it. Alexa post text. And then I feel like I want to move all the rest of this functionality out, but what I really want to do get rid of this. Just so I'm cleaning things up a little bit. Okay. So I know that this works. If I save, I would assume that if I drop something in the chat, we're still in a good place. I should be able to say something like, who is Blankenburg? And that still works. That's good. So we're in a working state for answers. What we really want to do now, though, is get this post-text result, and instead of doing it all here, back to a pink lamp. Thank you, W. Giorgio. Yeah, I'm trying to think about how to do all this. Because once I get this back, this has all the information in it that I want. That's my lambda. So the thing I'm working on is bot. Okay. I think think what I need to do here is figure out a way to get this value back out. Rather than just saying lex.postText, I think what I want to do is resolve this value so that I'm not making all of my decisions here. So let's try that. Let's take this to this, comment that out, and can I just say return data? Let's say const result equals that, else return data. And then the thing that I want to see is when we get down here to the end is console.log, and this is going to be result. So I don't actually know if this is going to work. I'm in a weird async place. But what I want to, we should do a JSON dot stringify result. Okay. So I'm just returning data from that call, and then it should give me something. So if I say this again, that's what I was worried about. Can I say this? Await. Will you let me do that? Converting circular structure to JSON. No, I don't. But I don't want to do it in there. Okay, I guess I'm going to do that. And then we'll just work with the results. So we'll get rid of this stuff. And then we're just going to go line by line through this. So the things that I need to figure out are, what was the intent? And how do I do some stuff with it? So I have this table name. Like that. We'll call this const intent name. No, not capitalized. Intent name. Data.intent name. We'll just take that so that we have it. And then I think we're going to have to do a switch on that. Because depending on the intent, we will take completely different actions. So we'll do switch intent name, and then in here we'll have case answer intent. Okay, that's my answer intent. We haven't even looked at the chatbot in a while. Let's go look at that. We'll keep this open though, because I'm very curious about how I can get those references. So we'll go to AWS. We'll look at our chatbot. Kevin Evans, which Echo show did you get, man? Did you get like the big Hoss, or the Show 8, or the 5, or the original? Which one did you get? I'm always curious to see which one people pick. I know I have a ridiculous testing library here, but it's also very interesting to hear what you guys are using. Show 8, yeah, that's this guy. It's gorgeous. You said it's coming today? That's awesome. Let's just find Lex the easy way. Maybe pump up my font size for you guys. Alexa chatbot right there. So the intents I have are answer intent, and that's it. So it does feel like I want to create an intent that is the sound effect intent. And the speech con intent. Kevin, I will tell you, and if you're using it for testing, then certainly keep it in your office. But you should put the show on your kitchen counter. And let me tell you why. There is so much stuff that you don't even realize is happening on the screen. And I don't know if you have kids or family or anything, but we've already gotten your entire back history, so if you want to share that with us too, that'd be great. But having it in your kitchen, you'll be amazed how many times you walk by and you're like, oh, I want to know more about that. And you can either just tap the screen or you can ask it whatever it tells you to ask, like, tell me about that weird thing or whatever. Put it in a place where you're constantly walking by, and I think you'll be very surprised how often you use your Echo Show just because there is this rotating set of things. Another really cool thing, which I have running on this one, is that I have uploaded a bunch of family photos to Amazon Amazon Images, and it uses that as the screensaver basically for this. So even behind all the cool text and interesting things that are happening there, you'll see images of yourself, and it'll even do it on a this day as or whatever, right? So like today, it's showing me pictures that I took on this day, June 19th, in previous years. And so it's very, very cool. W. Giorgio, they actually found a way to convert them. So what you do is you take the Google one, and you just unplug it, and you can put it like in a box or someplace, keep it. It's nice. But then you can put the Alexa one in its place. It's an upgrade process they offer now. No, I'm just kidding. I have nothing against the Google devices, and if you've got one in your kitchen, that's super cool. I like that voice is happening in your house. That's great. Okay, so I have some work to do on these intents, but at least I have them. So I could say like speech con intent it's usually like say, oh, stop it. Would be like say, abracadabra. Do I want to create a slot? Yeah, we could create a slot. It's called SpeechCon. And the slot type is going to be a thing that I haven't created, of course. So let's create a slot type. Create a slot type. Slot type name, this is going to be SpeechCon. Different SpeechCons. I've also just realized that this is going to be a huge pain because I care about language and I don't think they care about language. And then we'll just put abracadabra here. Abracadabra. Add slot to intent. This is now going to be SpeechCon. This will be SpeechCon, maybe. And then we hit plus. That adds it. Great. All of that looks great. Build. I don't even know how this is going to work. I don't even know Hopefully it just works. I could say abracadabra to it, and it's like, oh, you hit the speech content. That would be gold. But I struggle so much with Lex, and I don't know why. It doesn't make any sense that I would struggle, because I get the stuff, but there's something about the mental model I have around Lex, or around Alexa, that doesn't match Lex all the time, and it annoys me. My build was good. Let's try it. Say abracadabra. Speech con intent is ready for fulfillment, and I got my slot value. How about that? So let's go in here. I have Alexa slot JSON, but if we go to my answers table, I think, don't I have a Alexa slot values, and I have a Lex slot values. Let's take this formula, because this is different, and we'll go over to SpeechCon, and we'll come in here and we'll create a new table called Lex slot value, not Lex slot JSON, and that's fine. This is going to be a formula. Paste. Let's see. There's no synonyms for this, so I can pretty much take if value, name. I think I can take all of that away. I think that just goes like that. That's all I really need. I have not experienced capitalization mattering, W. Giorgio. No, that's not something that I've seen. So now I end up with this JSON that looks like that, which, man, that's so sparse. We'll just start with the US English ones. Copy that. No, we could do all of them. It doesn't matter. Get rid of my filter, because they're all spelled differently. So I pair them up if they have the exact same spelling, but you can see that if I sort it by what field? Let's sort by name. Am I in the wrong table? Dev tips, speech cons. I didn't move these over, did I? I just moved speech over. Speech cons. Something's missing. I have so much more data in here. Count. Yeah, see, there's so much more data. Why is it still filtered by NUS? This is how many speech cons I've put in the system for each language. I feel like I'm definitely missing some. This says I only have 313 records total. Did I do this in another place? You don't know how sad I'm going to be if I find out that, like, somehow I put all the data in the wrong place. This only has 189 records. Well, let's turn the filter off. 1104. So this makes me feel like, where did all my data go? Huh. Well, I've got a little bit of working to do in my data. I do this here, and then I do a count field here, what does this look like? It's a much better list, but I don't think they're complete. So that means I'd have to go back through all of them and figure out which ones I'm missing. I don't understand what happened. I had all of this data here, positive of it. Is there historical? I wish I knew what I was doing. Oh, no more actions done due. Okay. So if I turn this filter off, we still only have 313 records. That's so odd. I don't know where my data went or why, but I have a database with 1,000 of them. But now I'm going to have to go through and check them and like validate that I didn't miss anything. And that's super annoying. Because if I look at locale here, I have 313 US English ones. God, that's so weird. I feel like I've lost hours of work somehow. And if I come here and I look at the old one that I had, this has English US 189. So I've at least updated that, but I'm going to have to go through all these now and figure out what's missing. This definitely feels like the one that I was updating though, so maybe I'm okay. That's surprising. I wonder if I can do this easily. Let's look at my table here, and I look at my SpeechCon table. I would need name is disabled locale. I don't think I have any that are disabled. Thank you. I probably just needed some water, Kevin Evans. You're right. Big Jam Dodd, thank you for the follow, man. Welcome to the club. We've got a whole bunch of people in chat. Please join us there. It's always good to meet new people and work with you guys and answer questions and all that kind of stuff. So, okay, so how am I going to do this? The only data I really have in this SpeechCon table is the values and the locales. That's all that's really there. This is a formula that gets some stuff for me. So maybe, I mean, this is doing me no good. I wonder what if we just blow this away? What if we do it? What if I just take all these records and blow them away? Like so. Oh my God. Woo. And then we take this one, and we're going to have to go to the SpeechCon table, and we're going to take the voice response. And we're going to sort this alphabetically so that we feel really good about this. Keep sorted. And I'm going to take this whole column, all 1,104 records, copy it, bring it over to this, drop it right here, and say paste. Expand the table. Bloop. And we just get them all. Doesn't seem like it did them in order, did it? Sort, because I have a sort on. In sort A to Z. I don't need the is disabled. I just want A to Z. And then we end up with the same stuff, right? If I come down to some of the more English-looking things, we have like our hello, and here we have our hello. Okay, so that's good. And then we could just probably take our locale column, which is in the same order, copy it, get back to the top of the list, go right here, paste. How you like me now? That's amazing. Try doing that with your database. Okay, so that is, yeah. So now if I come in here and I choose to filter this, where it's NUS, I should end up with, why do I have 189 records? I thought you said you had 313 records for ENUS. 189. ESMX has 321. So I think there's probably gaps in my data, which sucks. I don't want to go back through all these. But it's where we're at. Because if we want to do things, we got to do them right. There's no easy way. I don't think there's an easy way for me to know. If I go to the SpeechCon reference, and are we on the English US ones? Yeah. So let's get rid of this for now. And just look at these. If I take it from abracadabra all the way down, let's just go like this. All the way down to there. And let's do a new file here. Oh, those were just all the words? Yeah, you can see for English US, there's 316. I didn't think for a moment that that would just work like that. Okay. Okay. So how do I do this in a way? Because I can copy and paste for the first one. The problem is the 2nd through 15th locales, I have to make sure that they're not duplicated. So I can't just paste in the list again, because I don't think there's a dedupe tool in Airtable, as nice as that would be. SpeechCon's here. Is there a way? Duplicate view. Oh no, that's duplicate view, Jeff. You didn't want to do that. Grid view, copy. Oh, that would have been awesome. Duplicate view. That was like exactly what I wanted. How do I do? Find duplicate records in Airtable. Yeah, see, I don't have blocks. Okay, I'm getting deep into the mess here. But what I really want to do is to take we get rid of my filter. It would be to take all of the records that I have here, leave them, all right, you know what, everybody? Today is the day that I start paying. When do you get blocks? You don't get it till Pro? Upgrade. Okay, I don't want to do that. Pro plan, I gotta do it monthly. I gotta do the monthly. $24 a month. Can I not pay for all users? I don't really need to pay for Jeff Nunn right now. We're just drop him for right now until I can get approval to expense this, and then we'll go crazy. Okay. So let's try this page again. Monthly. Apply up to $40 in credit. You better believe it. Yeah, I dropped Jeff for now, but he's an important part of this, so I want to keep him in. So now we're going to do a fun moment where we do this, and I don't have my wallet, so we'll just use this. One moment, please. Okay. Upgrade, people. Upgrade. Okay, look at that. Confirmation. DevTips has been upgraded to the Pro plan. All right, so let's get back to it. Install. Adding this block. I've never used a block before because I've never paid. Fields for duplicates. Name. Only if they're exact. I have a bunch of records. Review 2 sets of duplicates. What does that do for me? It lets me decide which one I want to keep, or... Oh, I see. Edit record. And if I just add another locale, ESMX, this will be a very manageable way to do this. Okay, so now that I've done that, I can come back here and I can say this is the primary record. This record, if I choose edit, can I delete it here? I want like a delete button. What I want to do to this record right now is make it go away. Oh, merge and delete one record. Okay, cool. So, boom. And then this one is just in there twice. So, use this primary record, merge and delete one record. This is actually pretty nice. Oh, awesome, W. Giorgio. Merge. And now I don't have any other duplicates. Sweet. Well, I'm gonna. So, this might actually work really well. So now if I take all of those English things that I have, nope. I had all of these terms here. If I take, what is that? What is that? Let's copy that. Do a find and replace on this. No. Replace all. Okay. copy. I just want to drop it right into the table. That'd be so cool. Let's turn all of our sorting off. Don't keep sorted. I have that one empty record now at the top that I want to get rid of. You go away. Delete record. Then we come down to the bottom. And right here, we're going to paste all of them. And then we're going to say ENUS for all of them, because that's where I got them from. And we'll just take that down to the very bottom here. This might be a really easy way for me to make this table. I've tried copying and pasting that table before, and I didn't get that kind of result. So I'm very curious to see how easily I can add the other locales. Okay, so I'm going to bring this down to here. They're all tagged as NUS. Please make this block bigger. Okay, review 217 sets of duplicates. That does not surprise me. But in each case, I'll just have to go through these. Don't ask again. Merge. I see the A. What if... Merge and delete. And then I could do that and enter. Okay. Is there a way for me to select this one without clicking on it? That would also be cool. You're going to make me click on it? Hey, oh, okay. Tab A, boom. Tab A, boom. Tab A, boom. Tab A, boom. Oh, this is great. Tab A, boom. Tab A, boom. Yeah, I do need a macro keyboard. So the thing I need to check is like Bing. Because it says it's merging them. So I think what it is doing is it should bring the NUS over here. And say merge and delete. So let's just stop there for a second. And go look at Bing in our table. Make sure that it's actually doing what I expect it to do. Bing, 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 bing. Bing, B-I-N-G. No, see, it didn't merge. Okay, well, I still have a tool to do what I need to do, but I have more work to do. I'm going to have to go through these more manually, which is still fine. Like this kind of situation is fine because ENUS is already here. So I can say use this primary record, merge and delete. But when ENUS is not here, like it wasn't on that other one, and it won't be for most of the things that I'm going to do, I'm not going to worry about it for now, but that's a pretty killer tool, and I'll bet there's some other blocks that are awesome too. Okay, I've totally blown up my data, but it's fine. So where do we go from here? What else can we do right now? So we were in the process of worrying about the chatbot, which doesn't do anything right now, except record what we say. And so I think we could take... Does data get created? Data's up there. Data.message. This is after we get the results back from Lex. So we'll just take out the lines that have been commented out. Okay, data.message, JSON parse. Then we have our table name. I guess I'm going to need all this. What do I need all this for? Oh, because I need to know what table to look in. I actually don't need this anymore, I don't think. But we'll keep it. So table name is there. Resolve values is here. And then if resolve values, this all looks great. So we'll just take this whole thing. We'll uncomment it, copy, and drop it here. So I think ultimately where I'm headed with this is why is that off? There we go. Okay, this should work again. So if I say Alexa, who is Blankenburg? And it works. Okay, so we are running through this case now, which is really nice. And I didn't get Alexa, who's Blankenburg, specific item, full path, and none of these things happened. This can all go in the garbage. Look how much cleaner that is now. All right. So the next thing that I want to do, though, is I want to take this chunk out. I want to take this piece, and I want to move it somewhere else so that I can just say, oh, if it's answer intent, then we're going to call this method, this function. That's what I would really like to do. So this is going to be called... I mean, there is Airtable stuff in here. Yeah, that's what I want to do. So this is going to be X, and this is going to be... What do I want to do here? It could be an Airtable function. It does have Airtable things going on, but it's also really like the core intent functionality. That's more important to me. This is like a handler. I'm going to do it exactly like I did the other one. So we'll create a folder called handler. And in there, we'll create a file called index.js. And this will have const, and we're going to call this answer intent equals answer intent.js. I don't even need that. And then we're going to do modules.export. And this will be answer intent. Maybe. Like that. That site is most certainly a work in progress, W. Giorgio. I did like the very top of it, and then I got busy and haven't revisited it. But it's actually nice. I have a repo set up here. I can work on it, and as soon as I deploy it to GitHub, it automatically deploys it out to S3 for me, and S3 is where the website is hosted. But in using that template and building it, I realized that's just way more than I want it to be. It's a very, very simple. It's a very, very simple version of what I wanted to. Well, I want a much simpler version of that, but it's meant to just be like, here's all my contact information. Here's how you can get a hold of me. Like if I'm streaming, it would be really cool if like the Twitch video was embedded, like stuff like that. I just haven't gotten around to it. I will eventually. I will. Okay, and then in here we need one more file, which we're going to call answer intent.js. Okay, and in here this is going to be function async function, answer intent. I don't know what I'm passing in yet. And then this is going to be module that exports. Answer intent. So if I come all the way back here, I should be able to say add this const handler equals require handler and then in here I should be able to say handler dot answer intent. Why doesn't it like that? Handler what am I passing to it? We should probably look at that first. Handler data. I'm just going to pass it data. And what's it going to return? It's not going to do the client say stuff. We're going to do. So we're going to comment all this out for now. And return. This is a placeholder message. So now if I come here, what do I see? What am I doing wrong? Handler. Why does this one look different than mine? That's what it was. Okay. So now, handler, answer intent, it returns a string. That's awesome. And then once we do our case statement, then we're going to take, oh no, we can't just return a string. We're going to have to, we're going to build a custom object for this, I think. So, because if I look at answer intent, I was calling target and context username. I think we can salvage this. We're going to take data and context. And then over here, this needs to be data and context. And then in this, this we should be able to bring this stuff back, but we're going to have to return. So I need this client.say message, because this is what we're going to use all the time, nice and simple. We'll do an else case. So if we get data back from the thing, then we'll switch on our intent name, and then when we're done with that, we're just going to say client.say, our target, and then our string. So this is going to be message out. And so this needs to be, let message out equal nothing. And then message out here equals handler.answerIntent. and then we just say client.say, oh, this looks so nice and clean. And then in here, we're going to change this so that if resolved values length equals 1, then we're going to return this message. Return. And we can uncomment all of this, I guess. If resolved values don't equal undefined, and if the resolved values are length, then we're going to return this. So this is the message I want to send when you match just one thing. Otherwise, this is my disambiguation. This one here is just going to be this, return. And we're gonna tweak these up too so that they're a little nicer with backticks. At context username. And then I don't need all that. I just need a space, and then I need this and this. And then we do our chat response. That's the thing that we're getting from our record, which is great. And then we need a space, and then we need this and a link. Man, I think we're gonna get this. I think we might actually be working it here before we know what happened. So that's perfect. And then this one we're gonna do the same thing too. Same treatment. At context.username space, did you mean, space, get spoken disambiguation. That's going to have to be brought forward, and then a question mark. How do you like that? And then if we didn't match anything, then this one's going to be a return. Okay, we're getting there, getting there. I don't seem to know about that, sorry. And these are things that we could put into our database and use the exact same strings and everything that we're using for the skill, which would be super cool. So that looks good, and then this return message will never get used. And I broke something. There's no parentheses there. Okay. Does it work? Does it work? If I just do Alexa, who is Justin? Get resolved values is not defined. Well, that makes sense. I told myself that this did not work. Get resolved values is here. So I'm going to need, we're going to need a helper function. So we'll do const helper equals require helper. Like that. And then we'll need a new file like here-ish that is helper.js. And this is going to have a function called get resolved values. Why am I even doing that? Stop. Okay, so in bot I have that function already. Why? I don't know why I needed to get resolved values. Is this? That goes. This goes here. Module.exports equals. And the first thing we put in here is get resolved values. Okay, so that gives me what I need there. So now this should work, right? So now I have the get resolved values, but this needs to be helper dot. Get resolved value shows up. Good, I've got all that working. And then I need get specific data by ID. That is a function that lives somewhere. That's going to be an Airtable function. So if we come in here and we say get specific data by ID, we're going to copy this. And we're going to create a new Airtable thing for this. So we'll go into Airtable, and we'll create a new file called get, what did I call it? Get specific data by ID, table name. Maybe that's what I want, I don't know. But I don't want it in the name of the file, .js. And then we'll drop that here for right now. And then I'm going to need that HTTP GET function, which we'll just copy for now. We're going to go back and refactor this, but probably not today because I'm running out of time rapidly. And then we need to do a module.exports equals get specific data by ID, like so. That just calls HTTP GET. Does this call anything useful? No. Okay. So this goes away. This goes away. Get resolve values, we just did that. Get spoken disambiguation, this is going to go in the helper. Get spoken disambiguation, like so. And build link text, we'll probably need that too. So we'll take that. Why is this indented? Why did we indent that? Don't do that. Okay, and then this shouldn't be indented. What just happened? Don't collapse my code. This isn't helper anyway. Save that. Helper. Get resolve values. The new one that I'm bringing in is build link text, I think I said. Yeah. Build link text. Okay, build link text is there. These can all go away now. Boom, boom. In my get specific data by ID, I want to make sure that I'm calling the appropriate functions in answer intent. This is helper.getResolveWords. This is await Airtable dot get specific data by ID. This is helper dot build link text, and this is helper dot. And so now I need an Airtable reference here. This is going to be first one, Airtable. And this should just be like this, Airtable. And then all of this should be pretty good, I think. So if I hover over Airtable here, save chat messages there. I haven't added the get specific data by ID, copy, paste, paste. Now if I come back to answer intent, Airtable.get specific data by ID. Oh my gosh, this is exciting. Okay, let's try it. Alexa, who is Justin? Message that starts with is not a function. What are you talking about? Where do we do message that starts with? And my house is exploding. Dogs are barking. This is line 68. Oh, message out is right here. Let's try that again. I don't know if I did that right. It looks like I hadn't saved all my files. Message that starts with is not a function. Where am I doing a starts with? Oh, I know where I'm doing a starts with. It's not that one, though. Dot starts with. That's the only reference to that I see at all. Okay, let's set a breakpoint. We're not even hitting it. I don't understand. What did I break? Okay, what do we get here? Okay, the debugger is running for sure. Message.starts with. Are all these going in the database? How is that possible? How are we hitting... Maybe the debuggers don't work with NodeMon. That's possible. But we're definitely getting it to our database, right? Like, that's working. And it says line... It says right here... Starts with is not a function. Bot.js 68. So it's got to be something about the thing that I'm passing out. Message out. Okay, so let's put this little condition here. If message out. This is a good catch anyway. And then I'm gonna just console log this. Console.log message out. All right, back to chat here. We're way over time. No. Message out, object promise. Am I not? Oh. It's because I didn't await it. I think that's something simple and dumb. It usually is. And that's fine because I did the Alexa accidentally. So let's put an A on the beginning. Keys is not defined. Oh, because I moved it. So where are we looking for keys? Probably in here, if I had to guess. Keys is right there, so we just got to include that. Equals require /keys.js. Okay. How do you like me this time? Nope, still no? What did I break now? Oh, HTTPS is not defined. Of course. All these things that I will eventually be getting rid of. Const HTTPS equals require HTTPS. Let's get rid of that full path thing I saw in there too. We don't need that. We should be so close. There it is. It's working again. Okay, so that's awesome. So we've broken all this stuff down. We can close up a bunch of files. Helper.js exists now. Package.json, index. We don't need any of this stuff. Those are interesting links that I don't need this. Don't save. And our bot file is so tiny now. This is really, really nice. Okay, so I think we've made some good progress on the bot today. We've cleaned some things up. We've been able to separate out the answer intent now into its own case. And then we'll be adding cases for all of the things that the skill does, probably in a slightly different way, right? We can't play sound effects or speech cons the way we could in the skill, but we can do them here another way. So I'm feeling pretty good about this. So we're on our way. This is where we'll pick up on Monday, and I'd like to get. Hopefully, we'll be certified by Monday, or we'll have some bugs that we need to tweak, and so we'll have lots of things to work on for Monday. But I have to go because in an hour and a half, I'm going to be on that other channel, which we mentioned earlier. But I'll drop a link just in case you guys didn't grab it earlier, and that is this. But I would love to have you guys join us for the interview that I'm going to be doing at 1:30 Eastern, so in about 90 minutes, 82 minutes. So there we go. All right, thank you guys all for tuning in. I'm going to grab some lunch, maybe a shower, and we're going to get right into it. I'll see you in 82 minutes. All right.